New Zealand councils have been asked to make a decision with a very long tail. The Head Start window gave councils about 3 months to form a position on structural reform by the 9th of August. Make a proposal or we'll do it for you. That is rushed by any fair measure. I'm not saying amalgamation is wrong. In some places it may make perfect logical sense. But how do you know? With which councils? Under what model? And at what cost? Over what transition period? With what service impact? And what is the protection for local voice, local identity, iwi and hapu relationships, your staff capability, your systems, assets and debt? Kia ora. My name is Shayne Whitehouse. I run UrbanTech Plus from Brisbane, and I'm originally from the Manawatu. Across my career, I've worked in transformation, governance, infrastructure, digital systems, and operating model change. One lesson keeps coming back. Big reforms do not usually fail because people lacked ambition. Rather, they fail because commitment gets ahead of evidence. The decision is made first. The case is built later. The savings are assumed. The systems are left for the transition. The culture is treated as soft. The debt and asset backlogs are discovered later, after the structure is locked in. And the people who have to defend the decision are often never given enough time to build the case and test it properly. That is the risk I see in New Zealand council reform. Not the reform itself, but the rushed reform. The evidence from council amalgamations is mixed. The corporate merger evidence also shows both success and failure. Scale can help, but scale is not a strategy. Bigger does not automatically mean cheaper, faster, simpler, or even more accountable. The mechanism matters. The financial starting position matters. The transition design matters. Local involvement matters. And the gap between urban and rural communities matters. So the first question should not be, are we for or against amalgamation? The better question is this: can we defend the decision we are about to make? Can we defend it to elected members? Can we defend it to our community? Can we defend it to the DIA and to Cabinet? And can we defend it 2 years from now when the long tail costs and consequences start to show up? That's why I built the Council Reform Gateway. It's not a merger design tool. It does not tell councils what structure to choose. It does not advocate for or against amalgamation, but rather it tests whether the evidence base is strong enough before the commitment is made. The diagnostic asks 15 questions across 5 reform domains: the strategic case, financial sustainability, service outcomes, governance and capability, and the community impact. Those are the areas where reform promises tend to become reform risk. Has the combined financial position been modelled? Have asset backlogs and debt obligations been included? Have transition costs been tested before the savings are claimed? Are your property and finance, your GIS, your payroll, your records and asset management systems included in the cost case? Is there an agreed service baseline across all councils involved? Has cross-subsidy risk been made visible? Have iwi and hapu commitments and treaty settlement obligations been treated as structural requirements or just as goodwill? And has the executive team tested whether it is genuinely aligned or just aligned in the room? That last point is critical. One person's answer is a view. An executive team's independently completed answers becomes a position. and the gap between those answers often shows where the real decision risk sits. A finding of further evidence required is not a failure. A finding of reform not indicated is not a political position. Both can be legitimate governance findings if the evidence is not yet strong enough to support commitment. So, before your council submits, supports, rejects, or delays a Head Start position, run the Council Reform Gateway. 15 questions, 5 reform domains, a structured assessment report. You can complete the diagnostic at urbantechplus.com/council-reform-gateway. Do it before the commitment is made.